Now, there has been trade rumors going around in regards to the Lakers. Now, of course, you think of Russell Westbrook, and there are other names that's been out there for the Lakers as well. Kent Bazemore and DeAndre Jordan. And when you think of Russell Westbrook, of course, you think of a turnover machine. You think of a player that a lot of people thought, or including LeBron James, thought that he can come on the team and actually give them a lift, to give them the upper hand, to beat a lot of teams in the West and propel them to the NBA Finals. So far, this team is really, really good in regards to the talent that they have. And they've been winning a few games here lately, a 3-4 game winning streak, so you can't discredit anything they've done. But at the same time, you got to look at it like this. If they want to win a championship, can they win what they have with what they have as far as like Russell Westbrook and the rest of the crew? It's going to be very difficult to do so, especially with him having the ball in his hands at crucial point in times of the games. And we all know Russell Westbrook can be a turnover machine in the regular season, and he can be a turnover machine in the playoffs. Now, playoffs, of course, is not where you want to have the turnovers at, because that's what gets you beat, and that's what gets you knocked out of the playoffs and watch other teams go on to win the championship. Now, the one thing I found to be interesting about the whole situation is there's actually reports out there that's saying that the Lakers had interest in trading Russell Westbrook, but they're retracting it, or they're thinking of retracting it. And there's reports out there about Anthony Davis possibly getting traded. Now, I've said before, I said Anthony Davis hasn't been the same, or hasn't played that great since the bubble, since they won the championship. He's played good, but he hasn't played top 5 that a lot of people thought that he is, or a lot of people that say that he is. If he's a top 5 player, he has to go out there and perform. And the only way to go out there and perform is to be the best player on the Lakers. And the only way the Lakers are going to win a championship, if he's there, is if he is the best player on the Lakers. Because LeBron is good, but what LeBron is doing, this is regular season. Regular season's good, and all that's great, but can LeBron do it for the regular season and go into the postseason and deliver the goods the way he used to? Now, of course, you can say that he might be able to do that, but unlikely is very the truth that he won't be able to do it, because it's very much the truth, because the fact that he's 37 years old and you're asking him to go out there and play at a high level every night just to keep you afloat in the Western Conference, then you have to go to the playoffs and do it 4 rounds and make it to the finals. It's going to be very, very tough for the Lakers, and the Lakers can pull that off, that'd be great, but it's very, very highly unlikely that they will, because LeBron is just going to run out of gas at some point, and then the narrative is going to be, oh, he's too old to carry a team, it's no big deal. And that's okay, but at the same time, that's what they have Anthony Davis for. Anthony Davis is supposed to be a top 5 player. He's supposed to he's supposed to average 30 or 20, I'd say 28, 12 and like 3. Something like that. I mean, he's supposed to be the guy on the team. He's supposed to go out there and play at a high level. And then there's times where, you look at Anthony Davis, he has all the talent in the world, but one big thing with Anthony Davis that you might question is his health. I've always questioned his health. I mean, he's been a really, really good player, great player in the league, but his health has always been his Achilles heel. And since he's been on the Lakers, ever since the bubble, he's been injury prone more than any player in the NBA, if you think about it and the way you look at it. And that's just not something that the Lakers need. The Lakers can't propel forward and win anything if he's not available. And on top of that, if he's not playing to top 5 caliber. I mean, I just saw him a couple weeks ago play against Karl Anthony Towns when they played the Timberwolves, and Karl Anthony Towns basically made him look little, basically made him look small. And to me, that was definitely the low light of Anthony Davis's career so far. I mean, not saying Anthony Towns is a bad player, because Karl Anthony Towns is a really good player, but at the same time, you shouldn't be getting bullied by a player like that, especially when y'all come from the same college and you're looked at as a top 5 player, and he's not even maybe looked at as a top 10 player. And even though he does have top 10 player talent, but still, this is my point. If Anthony Davis is not going to play up to the level of expectation, I wouldn't think it's out of the realm that the Lakers look at trading him, but I really don't think it's possible they can, because all the money they invested in him, and the belief that he can definitely take over the organization is what they're looking at, hopefully in keeping him and adding to what they have to make them a championship team. So, I mean, don't get me wrong, Anthony Davis has time to come back and redeem himself, but I definitely think think, there's more talks about Anthony Davis out there than what people think. Now, will they pull the trigger? I'm not sure if they would do that. Anthony Davis is, when he is right, I tell you, he is a top player in the league. And I'd say maybe top 10 player in the league if he's right. So if they had that player playing the way he's supposed to, then things would be a lot different for the Lakers, I think, as a team, as a whole, as an organization. Because when Anthony Davis is playing at his top level caliber way, a lot of teams can't deal with the Lakers, and that would be really, really tough with them, because if Russell Westbrook found a way to just limit his turnovers consistently, and LeBron can play somewhat of how good he's playing, not even up to the level that he's playing right now, if he could just keep that consistently throughout the season, and Anthony Davis can come back and contribute and play the way he's supposed to, now you have something going. Now the Lakers can say, okay, now we have a team that a lot of teams are going to find hard to contend with, because we got a three-headed monster that nobody is ready for. Maybe unless it's like somebody like the Brooklyn Nets, but that could be debatable as well, because with Kyrie only playing away games, the chemistry of the Nets is not going to build the way it would for any other team, because everybody else can play all games. They don't have a part-time rental player. They have full-time players on every other roster, so it makes a difference, and it definitely could make a difference in regards to winning a championship. So honestly, if the rumors and the reports are out there, and you can check it out, you can go online, you can actually just go on Google and look at all the reports and things like that, where the Lakers are in the works or speaking to teams in regards to listening about trades and everything about certain players on the Lakers. Anthony Davis is one of them. Ken Bazemore is another. DeAndre Jordan is. And of course, Russell Westbrook is out there as well. So it all depends on what really the king wants. So if LeBron James wants Russell Westbrook there, he'll be there. If he doesn't, then he won't. And that's just the way it is. And like I said, the Lakers will find a way to move you if LeBron James thinks that you don't deserve to be there and you're not going to help them win. So hopefully we'll see, how it pans out. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Lakers pulled the trigger on any of the players on the Lakers right now, because maybe not any of them, but mainly the core players, because right now the Lakers are just mainly looking for championship DNA. They're not looking for anything else. And right now, the way they're playing a bunch of teams that they've been having a favorable schedule here these last few games up to a week. So definitely good for them to build some confidence. But at the same time, you just wonder how long LeBron's going to hold up. And then you look at it like this. If Anthony Davis doesn't come back playing top 5 caliber, what will the Lakers do, or what would they think of? You see what I'm saying? So it's like a lot goes into this, hopefully in their favor, that they get the Anthony Davis that they partition to have going forward in their future. Because if they don't, it's very possible they might not actually make it out the first or second round as the team is currently constructed. And if Russell Westbrook doesn't turn the ball over as much, or if he can't cut down on turnovers, well, the Lakers don't have much of a chance anyway of winning a championship, because you can't win with turnovers in the playoffs in big moments, because you're going to get beat and other teams are going to enjoy the victory and you're going to get knocked out and you're going to be sitting at home while other teams are moving on in the playoffs. And that's a bad season. That's a bust season for the Lakers. They can't afford that. So I wouldn't be surprised, on any trade right now, because teams are really just trying to get better, especially the fact now that Kyrie's back with the Nets. But at the same time, like I said, we'll just have to see how it goes. And I personally think they'll end up keeping both Russell Westbrook and Anthony Davis. That's just my personal opinion. But we'll see the reports out there about, trades and everything in regards to, those players and other players on the Lakers is true. But until then, I do believe that they're going to keep the same team, and then we'll see how they play going forward. But hey, that's my take on the situation. Leave any comments in the comment section. Let me know what you think. As always, hey, Khaliis out.